may not be a name many of us have heard of, but in Formula One...
Watch this show.
Yes, and we will be going back to Perth shortly for more of that Commonwealth Bank Rally Australia. But meantime, it's time to go out to Randwick with Johnny Tapp for the race this afternoon that he will be calling. And I know the man's in fine voice because I heard him on Wednesday night. Tappy, how are you?
Good on you, Ken. I was in a slightly different condition when you heard me on Wednesday night to the condition in which you find me at Randwick races today. And it's a very good thing, too. The race coming up is for fillies and mares, and I'm very keen on a sweet-looking chestnut mare called Ice Cream Sunday, who looks disgustingly healthy. Now, anybody who saw Burke's Backyard last night on the 9 network would have seen Mike Willis's magnificent Transmedia Park complex at Cootamundra, and if you did, well, you can now understand why Ice Cream Sunday looks so healthy, because she was reared on that property, Ken. Some of that lucerne hay looked good enough to eat.
Yes, John, that might be how I'll finish if I don't start backing winners, eating the hay, eating the grass. But I'm fairly confident here too. I know Ice Cream Sunday will take a lot of licking. That wasn't bad for me. But I'm going to back Entelier, or I already have backed Entelier. Let's look at the prices. Number 1, Easy Prey, is at 6 to 1. Whistling, 15s out to 16s. Not going quite as good as she was. Number 3, Calant Noir, is clear-cut favourite in now to $3.70. Odds of just under 11 to 4. She might even come in a fraction more. Ice Cream Sunday, the horse John spoke of, is at 5 to 1. Quicksilver Cindy, Jimmy Cassidy's mount, is at 5.5 to 1. Savannah Star at 16 to 1, getting out towards 20 to 1. Number 7, Entelier, my pick, 11 to 2, into about $6.20 now, just a little bit better than 5 to 1. A ride for Matty Bravado. Drawn a bit deep, but if she can overcome that, she'll run a big race. 20 to 1 Newton Moss, 50 Mini Princess. Now here's a good roughie, Ran Passer. Spent a bit of money from the ring. She's showing $17 on the tote odds of 16 to 1. I'm told she's worked very well at Rose Hill too. Plaza Athene is a 25 to 1 chance out to 30 to 1. Way of Hope is scratched. Minga is at 50 to 1. Kind Lady was a scratching. Shamisa at 66 to 1. Merrill Miss at 330 to 1. And Miss Brigand 400 out to 500 to 1. They're the prices. My money is on Entelier, and Johnny thinks that Ice Cream Sunday might take plenty of licking. Here he is.
Like it, Ken. Love it. OK, number 8, Newton Moss, and there is the celebrated jockey Shane Dye, the man who's won more big races in the last 12 months than any other rider in Australia. He's on Newton Moss in the race coming up. She's last in, and they're all set. Now, the starter onto his rostrum, and they're about set for a start in the 2 he's red. They face well, track cleared in front. Newton Moss drawn wide outs with Mini Princess. The gates open, they're off. Good start. Ice Cream Sunday is one of the first out. Mini Princess and Entelier are going quickly with Savannah Star. Miss Brigand is showing good early pace, and closer down to the rail side, Plaza Athene is prominent, followed by Calant Noir. Midfield, Easy Prey, and then Ran Passer, followed by Minga. Quicksilver Cindy. A good way back early is Whistling, and then Shamisa, followed by Newton Moss, and back at the tail is Merrill Miss to the 700 metres mark. Plaza Athene got up on the inside to share the lead with Miss Brigand. They're a length clear of Entelier, followed by Savannah Star. Mingar on the fence. Ice Cream Sunday between horses. Mini Princess about 3 deep. Even wider Ran Passer, followed by Easy Prey. Calant Noir is strung up on the fence behind a wall of horses turning for home. Over the rise now, Plaza Athene is tackled by Entelier on the outside, and then Miss Brigand, and further back is Ice Cream Sunday and Mini Princess. Entelier hit the lead at the 200 mark over Plaza Athene. Down the outside, Quicksilver Cindy, and Ice Cream Sunday is bursting through in the middle. The white blaze of Ice Cream Sunday and Quicksilver Cindy. They're coming to the line together. Quicksilver Cindy, Ice Cream Sunday kicking, but Quicksilver Cindy too good and beat Ice Cream Sunday. In 3rd place, Newton Moss. 4th, Calant Noir, followed by Minga. Plaza Athene weakened, and Tellier stopped quickly in the last bit from Shamisa Ran Passer. Mini Princess, Savannah Star, well back, Merrill Miss Brigand, and the last few were Easy Prey, and Whistling is absolute in race 4. Stand by for numbers, but the winner is Quicksilver Cindy. Number 5, Jay Cassidy, to pay $6.80 and $2.30. Second will be number 4, Ice Cream Sunday, to pay $2.30. Very game mare and kept trying right to the line. And third will be number 8, Newton Moss, a place dividend of $6.10. Yep, well, that was the action on race 4, Kenny, and Tellier loomed up, looked like being right in the finish, and then capitulated.
Yes, John, she had a little bit of a hard run out wide and wasn't good enough. Here, Ice Cream Sunday gets to the front in the blue sleeves. The grey Quicksilver Cindy wider out. Gobbles her up. Jimmy Cassidy at his best. Another winner to the Max Lee stable. A good run at Newcastle last start. The horse that beat her at Newcastle, Ryfield, just won in Brisbane. And Quicksilver Cindy did the right thing for her supporters here at Randwick. Quicksilver Cindy, a clear winner over Ice Cream Sunday with Newton Moss in 3rd place. That's Quicksilver Cindy now on screen. That was the story of race 4 here at Randwick. Race 5 is going to be a beauty. It's the George Main Stakes, in which Alquaz will clash with Shaftesbury Avenue, and we'll certainly have that on the wide world of sports.
Results in New South Wales TAB dividends for Sydney Race 4, the Tooheys Red handicap over 1,200 metres. The winning numbers 5, 4 and 8. First, Quicksilver Cindy paid $6.80 and $2.30. Second, number 4, Ice Cream Sunday, $2.30. And third, number 8, Newton Moss, $6.10. Kenny Callender's tip for Sydney Race 5 is number 6, the import Alquaz. And the first AFL set, the first
a special place in racing history, regardless of other achievements. He's always best remembered for that unique triumph in Australia's greatest race. At a recent Sydney race meeting, John Tapp ran into former jockey Les Coles, who joined the ranks of racing's elite on the first Tuesday in November 1962.
Looking fit and trim, and with barely a grey hair in sight, Les Coles looks little different to the day he won the 1976 Sandown Cup on Kiwi Can, his last ride in a race, and his 1,040th career winner in 5 countries. Nowadays, he lives in Melbourne, but his chief racing interest centres on Sydney, where he has close family ties. His son-in-law is Neil Campton, and his nephew, Malcolm Johnston, both highly respected jockeys who keep the family flag flying with plenty of winners.
If I don't go to the races, I go down to the Bentley Club and I watch them down there and have a game of snooker and watching the racing. Keep a keen interest in it.
Yeah, you'd have gotten
not a mad punter, but have a little flutter.
Flemington, on the first Tuesday in November 1962, and 92,000 people were there to share Les Coles' greatest moment in racing. The emphasis that year was obviously on hats. And it was hats off to a great horse in Even Stevens, who started a 3-to-1 favourite in the Melbourne Cup. Les Coles brought the 5-year-old across from a wide barrier to get into a good position at the winning post the first time. And as they turned their heads for home, Even Stevens was 5th on the inside, but soon after came away from the rails to challenge the leader, Aquanita. This is the way the late Ken Howard saw Even Stevens outclass his opposition.
Emerging from the rock and threatening danger, Even Stevens in front with a half furlong left to run, and the bullet from Aquita inch by inch taking it back. They're followed by Aquanita and Blue Shawn, but Even Stevens beats Aquita right on the event Aquanita. They're followed by Blue Shawn, Madep and Barber.
Like all jockeys, this was the moment Les had dreamed about with every stride and every heartbeat since that first day he handled a pitchfork in a racing stable. This was the unthinkable, the unreachable, the unbelievable Melbourne Cup. 28 years later, he can remember every step of the way.
A little mate of mine was coming back through the field and a little race helping on Lord Fury, and things were very, very tight, one off the fence and 26 runners. And I happened to give Ray a little call, and I went from being about 8th or 9th back into about the 3rd or 4th around the corner, so it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Melbourne Cup success has eluded some of Australia's greatest riders. Les Coles has always cherished his place among the chosen few.
The Melbourne Cup, I can go anywhere in the world and everybody, if they don't know Les Coles, they still know Even Stevens. And it's definitely opened more doors than anything.
Yeah, you never forget that first big one, Maxie, and that was a great horse, Even Stevens, and a wonderful jockey too.
Yeah, hands and heels into race immortality, and it really only takes a matter of minutes and seconds sometimes in sport to change a life. And as you say, you never ever forget that first big one.
But as Tappy and Kenny Callender so rightly point out, the current crop of top jockeys in Australia are just sensational. You know, watching Shane Dye out there, backed a couple of winners on Wednesday, by the way. So I'm right for a loan.
I was going to see you afterwards. This will be the first.
But there's so much good talent running around the saddle right now.
And it makes it so much more difficult to win.
well, yeah. But, mate, I can give you a tip or two.
What about Kenny Callender? We should have a chat to him.
And we'll be jumping into a different kind of saddle a little later.
Now the big one at Randwick, the George Main Stakes at weight for age over 1,600 metres, $250,000 in prize money, and what a star-studded field. I know that's a fairly hackneyed phrase, but on this occasion I'm not exaggerating. It is a field of top stakes earners, the biggest being Superimposed with $1.8 million, but quite a number of them are well over $500,000 in stakes. Ironically, the favourite Alquoz, who's not long been in Australia, won 4 small races in England, and he's had 1 win in Australia so far. His prize money totals only $185,000 up to this point in time. But I'll tell you what, that bank account's going to increase very quickly, Ken.
It sure is, John, and I'm pleasantly surprised with the price he is on the tote at the moment. He's showing $4 even, or odds of 3 to 1 on the New South Wales TAB, and I can assure you he's a good bit shorter with bookies. He's been a big plonk here at Randwick Alquoz. We'll soon see if he's as good as the Raps. Let's look at the prices. Number 1, Superimposed, hovering around the 3 to 1 mark. 16, High Regard. 66, Don't Play. Wonga Scratched. 14, Livingstone Lane. Alquoz, $4 even, still on the tote. That's much better than the bookies are offering. 60 to 1 Ronganui from New Zealand, 80 Mighty Grey, 9 to 1 Mr Megabucks, 16 Show County. He'll lead, but can he run the distance? 10 Solar Circle, 15 Stargazer, Shaftesbury Avenue well in commission at odds of 7 to 2, $4.50, 60 Prince Salieri, and 100 the Mare Jewel Treasures. A great race, an exciting race. Enjoy it. Here's Johnny Tapp to call it.
Thanks, Ken. And under grey skies at Randwick, we wait on Show County, who's a little bit reluctant to move into the gates, and also Mighty Grey. Now, they've had 3 or 4 attempts to get Show County in so far, and this time they're successful. And the blocky little colt moves up. He's won almost $1 million in prize money. He's not far short of the magic million. But a big question hanging over his ability to run the 1,600 metres at Randwick, where it's a pretty tough old 1,600. Now, Mighty Grey moves in. And they're set for a start. Starter Bill Cooper onto his rostrum now, picks up the button, and they're ready to break. Off and running in the George Main. Solar Circle dipped at the start. He's a clear last out of the barrier. Ronganui also dwelt, and Little Show County flew out of the gate and hit the ground running in front of Alquoz, who's up closer than expected. Close handy Shaftesbury Avenue, and going fast out wide is Stargazer. Then High Regard and Don't Play, followed by Mighty Grey, Prince Salieri, Mr Megabucks, and Livingstone Lane. Dual Treasures well back in the early stages with Superimposed and Ronganui on the outside, and 2.5 lengths away last after a slow start, Solar Circle to the first turn, and Show County the leader. Brian Wood trying to nurse him along in front, led by 1.25 lengths to Stargazer on the outside of High Regard, and the pace is not all that fast at the moment. Alquoz running 4th on the outside. Mighty Grey 3 deep on the fence, Don't Play. Shaftesbury Avenue midfield, followed by Prince Salieri. Mr Megabucks on the fence is actually pulling a bit, and then Livingstone Lane, Dual Treasures, the only mare in the race, is out deep as they near the turn. Superimposed awkwardly placed on the inside of Ronganui as they come to the corner, and tailed off is Solar Circle. Into the straight now, Wood sitting quietly on Show County, led narrowly over Stargazer. Alquoz striding up 3 deep on the fence behind them, High Regard. Then Don't Play and Shaftesbury Avenue, followed by Mr Megabucks, Mighty Grey, Livingstone Lane, and Superimposed with nowhere to go as they top the rise, where Stargazer put the head in front of Show County. Alquoz in 3rd place, Shaftesbury Avenue on the outside, High Regard battling on. Shaftesbury Avenue coming after Stargazer. Stargazer still in front. Shaftesbury Avenue pounces on him. Look at Superimposed jumping out of the ground. It's going to be too late, and Shaftesbury Avenue beat the fast finishing Superimposed. A good thing beaten Superimposed. Stargazer probably 3rd in front of Don't Play. Livingstone Lane close up. Solar Circle a good run, and then High Regard, Prince Salieri, Mr Megabucks. Show County well back is Ronganui. Alquoz dropped right out of the race, followed by Dual Treasures, and Mighty Grey last in the George Main Stakes. Shaftesbury Avenue, brilliantly ridden by John Marshall, has won the Tooheys Draft George Main Stakes. What a crackerjack horse he is. Shaftesbury Avenue, number 13, John Marshall, to pay $460 and $180. Superimposed took quite a while to get clear of a pocket in the straight and absolutely rocketed home to run second, $160. And it's a photo for 3rd. possibly Stargazer third. Ken, number 12, paying a tote of $4.40.
Well, John, the race didn't let us down. Alquaz let us down, unfortunately. He was fresher today and didn't race as good. But what a horse, Shaftesbury Avenue. He's improved and superimposed, put in a sterling performance to run second. And Stargazer is officially third. That Stargazer going to the lead in the yellow cap. Now Shaftesbury Avenue in the pink and the blacks outside him. These are the best horses in Australia, the best milers in Australia. Shaftesbury Avenue gets clear. Johnny Marshall's given him plenty. And down the outside comes the Melbourne champ, superimpose. Second in the last Melbourne Cup. He just failed by about a neck to cat Shaftesbury Avenue, and what a super race the 1990 George Main Stakes was. And that's just part of the action today on the wide world of sports.
Race 5, the feature event of the afternoon, the $250,000 Tooheys George Main Stakes over the mile. Let's check the winning numbers. They were 13, 1 and 12. Shaftesbury Avenue was first, brilliantly ridden by Johnny Marshall, and it paid $4.60 and $1.80. Second, number 1, Superimpose, $1.60. Third, number 12, Stargazer, $4.40. And Kenny Callender's tip for Sydney Race 6 is number 10, Blaylock's Bull. And updating the score in the first...
Johnny Tapp for race 6, and that's out at Randwick.
Good on you, Max. And it's the Brian Crowley Stakes, named after a former great administrator, a man who was chairman of the Australian Jockey Club over a long period of years. And he had great success as an owner breeder, and he started off with the gallant mare Flight way back in the 40s, and in later years he owned the great Sky High and Sky High's full brother Skyline. Well, this race is pretty hard to sort out, Ken. You'll need to be a matador or a picador or a toreador to sort out the bullfighter, Blaylock's Bull and Bullocky Way. Can you do it, son?
That's no bull, but I just hope that I'm on the right track with the bull I'm picking, and his name is Blaylock's Bull. I've got no doubt he's going to be the best horse in this race, but he's awkwardly drawn today, and he will need a bit of luck. But that's what the game's all about. These prices, number 1, the bullfighter, 9 to 1, in from 10s. Number 2, Pagan Jest, now into 9 to 2. It'll probably come in a bit more. It's shorter in the ring. Or Ranch, clear-cut favourite, $3.10 to $3.20, around 9 to 4. Shot of Comfort was scratched this morning. Ace K is at 7 to 1. Pride of Carrioy at 20s. White Crest is a scratching. Brogan's Choice at 33 to 1. Sir Patrick at 10 to 1. Blaylock's Bull, that's the one I've got my cash on, $4 even, or odds of 3 to 1. Bullocky Way at 20 to 1. Marinella at 40 to 1. And Katabi, the outsider of the field, at 80 to 1. And Carita's Dream is a scratching. That's the story on the betting on race 6. To call it the best in the business, Johnny Tapp.
Good, Ken, thank you very much. And the runners are about to be called up for the Brian Crowley Stakes. And thanks to our barrier camera, we can have a look at some of these close up. And number 11 is Peter Cook's mount, namely Bullocky Way. Katabi carries famous colours. Horse number 13 in the yellow, red striped sleeves, red cap. I'm sure you recognise the silks as the colours carried by the mighty Kingston Town, who in the early 80s put together a sequence of wins and $1.6 million in prize money. There's All Ranch with the all-conquering Mick Dittman on board in Jeff White's famous colours, white, purple star, purple hoop sleeves, white cap, colours that have been carried to victory by many great gallopers, including Masquet, who won the Golden Slipper in 1982. Now, Pride of Carrioy has moved into the stalls ahead of Pagan Jest. The bullfighter moving up into the number 1 gate. Line's taking good shape. Sir Patrick is ridden by Darren Gauci. Malcolm Johnston, incidentally, was indisposed today. He had a big book of rides, but elected to stand down because he's been off colour with a heavy dose of the flu. One of his rides was Sir Patrick, engaged in this race, and the replacement jockey is Darren Gauci. Now, the line is just about ship shape. The bullfighter, Bullocky Way, Marinella, Starter on his stand, has the button, and they're off and running. Katabi very slow to move, and Pride of Carrioy also dwelt. All Ranch began brilliantly and is going to speed straight to the lead. All Ranch in a twinkling is clear of Sir Patrick and Blaylock's Bull on the outside, who's going to travel wide, followed by the bullfighter Pride of Carrioy. Pagan Jest, Ace K is out deep. In that bunch, Brogan's Choice, a gap then to Marinella, followed by Katabi and Bullocky Way back at the tail. They're fairly flying at the 700 mark, and All Ranch is burning grass in front, led by nearly 4 lengths on Sir Patrick, and 3/4 away Blaylock's Bull, who had to work hard from a wide gate, and then Ace K, followed by the bullfighter Brogan's Choice, Pagan Jest, well back Pride of Carrioy, followed by Bullocky Way, Marinella, and tailed right off is Katabi. Into the straight, All Ranch is the leader, and past the 400 he's in front of Blaylock's Bull on the outside, Sir Patrick on the fence, Ace K looming up, and then Pagan Jest. It's still All Ranch coming to the 200 mark. Ace K on the outside about to grab him. Blaylock's Bull has called it a day, and the bullfighter getting through near the inside. All Ranch is boring out, carrying Ace K off the track, bursting through the bullfighter. He's coming home the best, the bullfighter. The bullfighter too good with Larry Olsen on board and beat Ace K. Sir Patrick third, close up Pagan Jest. All Ranch ran about under pressure. At the head of the others, Marinella, followed by Bullocky Way. Blaylock's Bull had to work too hard early. Pride of Carrioy well back with Brogan's Choice, and tailed off in the race Katabi. The bullfighter, ridden by Larry Olsen, is the winner to pay $10 and $2.70, and continues a freak run of success for trainer Jeff Mains and owner Mr. Martin Doherty. The bullfighter first. Ace K will be second. John Marshall, a place dividend of $2.50. And third will be number 9, which was Sir Patrick, a place dividend of $3.20. Ken, this owner-trainer combination has had a freakish trot.
They sure have, John. He used to be my boss, Martin Doherty, when he was editor of the Mirror. His racehorse tips weren't much good then. I suppose they've certainly improved now. And the bullfighter, the bull that we missed out on, was too good. That's him second from the inside in the white cap, outside of Sir Patrick, inside of the fading orange in the white colours, and in the orange purple with the black cap. That was Ace K in the blinkers. He didn't quite go on with it. Pagan Jest heavily back with the red sleeves out wider was a bit disappointing. It was all the bullfighter. On he goes, as John said, to continue that trot for Jeff Mains to beat Ace K with Sir Patrick in third place. One more race, live racing race to go on the Wide World of Sports, and we'll be back shortly with more action on your favourite program, the Wide World of Sports.
Into the home zone, and still to come, the men and machines that make up Team Toyota as they lead the World Rally Championship.
Also New South Wales TAB dividends for Sydney Race 6, the Brian Crowley Stakes over 1,200 metres. The winning numbers 1, 5 and 9. First, the bullfighter paid $10.60 and $2.70, ridden by Larry Olsen. Second, number 5, Ace K at $2.50. And third, number 9, Sir Patrick, $3.20. And Kenny Callender's tip for Sydney Race 7 is number 3, Kessam. Checking AFL action in Melbourne, a bit tough. And now we'll cross out to Randwick for some racing. And it's Johnny Tapp with Race 7, the Squatters Handicap, Tabby.
Thank you, Tim. And the horse in the picture at the moment is the favourite Kessam, with Mick Dittman on board. Kessam is a lightly raced New Zealand 5-year-old stallion who's won 7 out of 13 so far. You know, in all my years in racing, I like to think I've made 1 or 2 observations, and one that I have made is the fact that it is very, very difficult for horses to come back in distance. Conversely, the general pattern is to come back after a spell in a short race and gradually increase distances until you get the horse to his ideal distance. Now, Kessam's last win on the 25th of August was over 1,900. He's got to come back to 1,400 metres today. He's got 2 things in his favour. It's 4 weeks since that last run, which means that he will have freshened up within himself, and he's all class with a capital C. But Ken, traditionally, it's a big job for horses to have to switch back.
Is it what, Johnny? I've tipped him because of his class, but the bookies are a little bit lousy with the price too. And even on the tote, he's now showing $2.30 for $1, and that's not much better than about 1 1/4 to 1, odds of 5 to 4. We'll look at the prices. Prince Trialia out the gate in the betting to 33 to 1, a dividend of $34 plus. Wong at 7 to 1. Kessam, we better make that 5 to 4 now, $2.30. Spot the Rock at 7 to 1, a popular price because Our Poverty Bay is also at 7 to 1. Number 6, Ricochet Rosie at 25 to 1, Boasting at 60s, Hit Again Benny at 80 to 1, Sue Chief TAB number 9 at 25 to 1, Party Mood is scratched. Mocker, one of the best back to beat the favourite, will make that about 7.5 to 1 because he's now showing odds of $8.50. 33 to 1 So Fast. 16 to 1 Notorious Deed. 33 Remember Peter. 100 Mink Jacket. 100 Valenti. Sir Jolson. Now he's got ability, but he won't be winning this race, and the bookies have got him at a price that might entice you, but it shouldn't. It's 330 to 1. Okay, they're just about all in, 1 or 2 to go in the race that we hope that Kessam's first home in, the Squatters Handicap. Here's John.
And if he is first home, Ken, he'll be just about assured of favouritism, I'd imagine, in next Saturday's Epsom Handicap. Well, there's Remember Peter in colours and matching blinkers, as you can see. The yellow and black checks are the colours of the Paul Sutherland stable, Rocky Mountain Lodge at Rose Hill, and Ken Russell is the rider. Now, there's the light flashing on top of the stalls, and they're all set now for the Squatters. Starter coming over to release the field. Mink Jacket, So Fast, is facing up well in the number 1 stall, and they look to be about set. Gates fly, they're off, and Sir Jolson very slow to move at the start. Hit Again Benny also dwelt, and so did Prince Trialia. First out is Wong. Valenti jumped away quickly with Sioux Chief, and Spot the Rock is fast into stride, and wide out Mink Jacket, hard ridden, is pressing on towards the lead. Kessam is nice and handy, running about 6th in the run to the first turn, followed by Notorious Deed, and then boasting Mink Jacket. Hit Again Benny. Further back is Our Poverty Bay, a bit deep on that first turn. Sir Jolson making ground along the fence, followed by Mocker, Prince Trialia, Remember Peter, and last is Ricochet. Rosie to the 800 mark. They're going very fast up front. Sioux Chief the leader. Mink Jacket second under a bit of pressure, followed by Spot the Rock, and Wong is 4th on the inside. 3 lengths away then is Kessam on the inside of Valenti, with Notorious Deed making a line of 3. 2.5 to So Fast, and then boasting at a gap to Our Poverty Bay. Hit Again Benny, followed by Mocker. Into the straight, Sioux Chief a clear-cut leader over Spot the Rock and Wong. Now Kessam has eased to the outside as they come over the rise, and he's close enough, if good enough. In fact, he's about to grab the lead, Kessam. Down the outside, Notorious Deed, and Mocker coming with a big run. Kessam hit the front at the 200 mark, but Mocker on the outside is a big danger. Mocker coming at Kessam, and So Fast is getting through on the inside. Kessam's gone. Mocker hit the lead. Look at Remember Peter jumping out of the ground. He might beat them all. Our Poverty Bay. Our Poverty Bay has burst through in the middle. There are horses all over the place, and it's very close. Our Poverty Bay or Remember Peter, inches away Mocker. Close up is So Fast, and Ricochet. Rosie made up ground, followed by Spot the Rock. Kessam, another victim of coming back in distance, followed by Notorious Deed, Prince Trialia boasting. Hit Again Benny, Valenti, and then Sioux Chief, and well back came Mink Jacket, Sir Jolson, and Wong pulled up with the tail enders. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, they've come out of the woodwork in this. I thought Remember Peter, Mocker firstly looked the winner. Remember Peter was 4s on, but Our Poverty Bay, running a vastly improved race, has come swooshing through in the middle and right on the line. I don't know. I don't. Blowed if I do. Our Poverty Bay, number 5, showing $8.90 and $2.50. Desperately close. Our Poverty Bay, $8.90 and $2.50. Remember Peter is showing $35 and $6.90, and Mocker has run 3rd. Mocker is number what? 11 on the place tote, $2.50. Gee, it's tight, Ken.
It certainly is, John. Let's have a look at the replay from another angle. Mocker was going to win for sure, but he ran out of puff, and that's what beat him. Now, forget the horse in the blue and the pink. He'll look in front now, Mink Jacket. He couldn't go on with it. Kessam in the red hat, he couldn't go on with it. Now Mocker gets to the lead in the white sleeves with the blue cap. He'd come from near last, but now he starts to fade. Watch Our Poverty Bay inside him in the blue and yellow cap, and right down the outside in the Balmain colours is Remember Peter. Now the 2 to watch are Our Poverty Bay and Remember Peter, and as they hit the line, oh boy, perhaps Remember Peter, but Our Poverty Bay has certainly got the bob in. There's nothing in it. The 2 to watch are Remember Peter and Our Poverty Bay, and you'll find that Mocker has run 3rd. We'll certainly send this result of the Squatters Handicap down the line as soon as we're notified. That's all our racing today on the Wide World of Sport, the first day of the Randwick Spring Carnival. Thanks for being with us, and we'll certainly have more next week on the Wide World of Sports.
The Bart Cummings Caulfield Cup hopes may have been dented when Kingston Rule flopped at Sandown, but his sprinter Shaftesbury Avenue is now the one to beat in next week's Epsom after a strong win in the George Main Stakes at Randwick today. And David Hayes trained his first city treble at Sandown. The first race there was won by Alpine Slope starting at 10 to 9 on, a comfortable win leading all the way. An early double for Damien Oliver, Lee Friedman and the Symbol Lodge, with Friendship's Bridge winning the second on the program at sixes over Premier Copper and Alishan. Jumeirah won the third on the program, just holding on by a nose over Princess Pushy and Benbara Queen. Well, the favourite, the Guida, looked in trouble halfway down the straight in the Sandown Stakes.
2 lengths to chest. The Guida is slowly but surely hitting top gear. Now he's coming with Black Opera, but going to the front is the Guida near the